Hello everyone and welcome to the first reset for 2026. This is going to be both a kind of reset for the entire year as well as a specific reset for January. And I wanted to do overall a more atypical reset. I feel like I'm just not really interested in the very grind set, intense goal setting style of New Year's resolutions. I really want to figure out just what I'm passionate about, what is also easily achievable, and what would already fit into my lifestyle, and then work on those things. So that is what we're going to focus on for this video. In this video, I am going to be doing a couple different things. First of all, I want to give a watch list of all of the new movies and TV shows that I want to see when they come out in 2026. Just a couple things that I'm really looking forward to. I will do a little bit of more traditional goal setting. I also want to show you what I have made so far of my vision board, since it is still very much a work in progress. I also will do a pretty typical physical reset, aka cleaning my entire apartment. We actually did a decent amount of deep cleaning when I came back from Christmas, and as you can see over here, I still have half of a drying rack hanging up in my living room. But I think once this is done, later on in the day, I'll completely take it off and then do a new load of laundry. I also probably will swap out some of my fall into winter clothes. When I switched out my summer into fall clothes, I did leave some of my heavier sweaters, more kind of wintry color scheme sweaters and stuff still in my storage. So I think now I can put away the specifically fall clothes and move in the winter clothes. And lastly, I really want to do some type of glow up, aka just re-bleaching my hair. As you can see, my roots are really coming in on my bangs. But what I really want to do is I think I want to go back to my old bleach pattern, where I had this entire front section of my hair over here completely bleached. And I just really liked the way my hair looked when it was like that. I've not had my entire front section over here bleached, I think, for at least a year. And honestly, I really do miss it. I feel like when I look at photos of my hair when I first did that bleach pattern, that was kind of the best my hair has ever looked. So I really want to get back to the old bleach pattern that I had for my hair. And probably eventually I'll start phasing out some of the blonde that's on the underside over here, just to have it kind of more evenly balanced. So if any of that sounds good to you, then keep on watching, and let's get right on in to the meat of the video. So I thought right now we could work on some of my goal setting for 2026. It's been a couple days and I did end up starting a vision board. This is the in progress one I'm working on right now. However, I actually think I'm going to maybe pivot away from this because recently I've seen a lot of posts where people have made kind of a 2026 vision bingo board with all of their goals written out in the different squares. And I think this format actually makes a lot more sense and might kind of fill a void I didn't know I was missing. Because I've always felt when making my vision boards that there's a lot of goals I would rather see completely written out as opposed to having an image that represents the goal. And I feel also I'm not really someone that recreates my vision board. And when I actually achieve the goals of my vision board, it doesn't necessarily look exactly the same as the image that I put on the board. So I feel having the written out version to be my goal makes more sense for me actually being able to achieve that goal. So on Canva, I went ahead and found a template and customized it a little bit. And now I just brought the image over into Procreate so that I can write in all of the squares, the different goals that I have for this year. I did a little bit of brainstorming in a notes app on my phone of all of the goals that I have for this year. So let's go ahead and work on adding the goals to my actual bingo board. And obviously I'll post a finished version when I'm done adding everything in. So another big part of this reset is I really wanted to go through all of the movies and TV shows that I'm really excited to see that are coming out in 2026. It also is interesting because a lot of these are also booked adaptations. Some I've been keeping my eye on for a while, since they were first announced that they were going to be adapted, and other ones I've just found out as cast announcements and release dates have come out. And others are just ones from favorite directors of mine that when I found out they were coming out with a new movie in 2026, I was super excited. So anyway, let's go right ahead and get into the list. Also, this list is kind of all over the place. You'll see that I kind of don't have one particular genre that I really stick to when it comes to movies and TV shows. I think there's only 2 TV shows, so I'll bring those up really quick. The first one is I'm really excited for the second season of One Piece. I really, really liked the first season. I actually think I never finished the first season, but I really, really liked what I had seen of it, and obviously I'll probably go back and rewatch the whole season so I'm like primed for the second season coming out. I actually think that by the end of the second season, I will have read and watched like the same amount of One Piece. I didn't get very far in my reading of the manga, but it is my best friend from high school's like favorite series of all time, and the casting has been like so spot on with the first season, so I'm really excited to see how the second season plays out. The other show that I'm really excited for obviously is The Vampire Lestat, aka the third season of Interview with the Vampire. I'm so excited for this. I really, really like the book of The Vampire Lestat, so I'm super excited to see it transition into TV show format. I'm so excited to see what they do with all of Lestat's songs, if they're going to use any of the lyrics that are included in the book. And obviously he's giving Campy Rockstar, like it's going to be so much fun. Okay, I'm going to go into all the movies. I think a lot of them don't have release dates, and some of them might also not even have posters, but I'm just going to go down the list. We have Clara and the Sun, that's directed by Taika Waititi. I don't think this has a release date, and it's not even confirmed it's going to be in 2026, but I think it is. Most likely. I think it was supposed to be released last year and they just pushed it to a year forward. I love, love, love the book Clara and the Sun, so I'm really interested in seeing what the movie's going to be like. Next we have Wuthering Heights. I honestly don't have very high expectations for this, but I really do love Saltburn, so I'm interested in seeing what Emerald Fennell does with this story. Next we have Pillion. I am so excited to see this. I'm pretty sure it's already out in the UK, and I think some people also saw it at different film festivals, but it isn't getting like an official widespread US release until Valentine's Day. Next we have the drama, this another one that I'm interested in mostly for the main actors in it, being Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. Then we have I Love Boosters. This I'm mostly interested in because it is the same director as Sorry to Bother You, and Demi Moore is in it, so I'm really excited to see what this one is like. I'm sure it's going to be very weird and very funny. Next we have the Street Fighter movie. To be honest, I would not be interested in this movie if not for the fact that Orville Peck is in it, and the fact that he's playing Vega. I just think it's so funny that they went with casting someone who wears a mask in all of his performances to play a character that's also wearing a mask. Next we have The Odyssey. I am actually kind of tentative about this one. I mean, I'm probably gonna go see it because me and my wife really like all the other Nolan movies, except for Dunkirk. That's like the one dud personally out of like all of his other films. I think my wife has a lot lower hopes for this one than me because she's not really a big fan of like ancient Greek stuff. But as you know, I love me the Iliad and the Odyssey, so I'm tentatively excited to see this one. Then we have Sunrise on the Reaping. If you guys saw, I did a vlog reading this book last year, and I'm really excited to see what the movie's like. I think the casting has been really, really perfect. Plus, like, all of the, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, like, information about, like, where they shot the arena and everything. I think it looks really cool, and pretty similar to how I imagined it would look in the book. And lastly, we just have a couple random rom-com / romance movies that are coming out. The book The Bodyguard by Catherine Center is getting a adaptation. Not a book that I've read, but I just was really interested considering the main 2 characters are played by Jared Padalecki and Leighton Meester. I think that's just a really interesting combination. The Love Hypothesis is also getting a movie adaptation, and I really love the book The Love Hypothesis, so I'm really excited to see what the movie is going to be like. And yeah, those are all of the movies and TV shows I have on my list right now. I'm sure there'll be plenty more as the year goes on that I get interested in. So I have now finished my updated bingo board. I'll put like the finished version on the screen over here. I thought I had a pretty decent list starting out, but it was definitely taking some brain power to figure out the last row and figuring out all the stuff I wanted to add in as my goals. I'll mention a couple of them right now. The one that I was most hesitant to put on is buy a house, because this is something that I feel like is really like out of my control on if we can do it. It really just depends on like what the housing market looks like throughout the spring and summer season, if we even like find a house that we want to buy. But it's been a goal of ours, at least for the last year or so, to try and like actively look for a house. so I decided to add it in. I want to make more progress on actually like maxing out my Roth IRA for this year, which I did in 2024 but did not do for 2025. I also want to add a lot more to my savings, since we do have a high interest savings account that has been primarily used for saving up for the house. I think in conjunction to that, I also want to do a no spend month to just try to like maximize my savings as much as possible, and also like get out of the habit of shopping and like looking for new things to buy. I think a lot of the other goals are kind of like a combination of smaller to-do list style like things I've really been putting off, as well as like easier, fun activities I can do with our friends or like within our own city. I also really want to overall get into the habit of finding like new fun things to create. I also have an overarching goal that I really want to like create more in 2026. Obviously, I've stayed consistent in creating all of my YouTube videos, but I also want to like expand and do other like creative works. I feel like I really want to get this like passion back I have for writing fan fiction and like drawing fan art that I just like haven't had in the last like 3 or 4 years or so. Just wanting to like put out into the world more of the stuff that I also readily consume as well. So that's an overall look at the stuff I decided to put on my bingo board. I think it's going to be really fun working on this throughout the year. I've already started working on one of the squares in doing a no spend month for January by doing a like low buy and kind of avoiding any like unnecessary purchases for this month. So hopefully if I keep it up for the rest of the month, I'll have one square marked off for my bingo board. One last thing that I will leave off for this video is, as you can see, I did go ahead and bleach the front of my hair. So now I'm back to the bleach pattern I had back in like 2022. I honestly really, really love it. I do think that this section down here is a little bit darker and not as like pure white as like the front of my bangs. Although I do think that's probably from the fact that my bangs, as well as like a lot of the section down here, did go through multiple like dye jobs that kind of like toned it at the same time. Whereas like this section right here, I just put bleach on. It doesn't actually look that different on camera, but in person this is a lot more yellowy. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything to change it. I might try and tone like all of my hair together and make it more of like an ash blonde eventually. But I think for right now, this is looking pretty good. And it's just really nice. I honestly feel a lot more confident and like happy with my hair looking like this. So that's a little like glow up aspect of my reset. So with that all said and done, we are now at the end of this video. Thank you guys as always so much for watching. I know this video is probably going up closer to like the middle of January, but I kind of consider this not just a reset for the month, but for the entire year. And I feel like it kind of just like took me a little while to get up and running with everything going on in the new year. Anyway, I hope regardless you found this video helpful and enjoyable to watch. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing if you aren't already. I have a lot of fun videos planned for 2026, and I would love if you guys decided to stick around to see those when they come out. But that is going to be it for me today. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!